I got another gangster tale for you. As you see, Frankie Decicco and John Gotti. Now, when this all happened with Angelo Ruggiero with the tapes and John Gotti, now, John Gotti, he had to trust somebody. In that life, you don't just walk up to people and tell them, listen, we're thinking about killing Paul Castellano. It don't happen like that. You got to trust somebody. And the person you trust, you got to make sure that that person is 100%. And he trusted the right guy. He trusted Frankie Decicco. Now, to go from Queens out of your crew into another crew and tell them, listen, this is what's going on. We need to kill Paul Castellano. If not, he's going to kill Angelo. He's going to kill Gene, his brother. And, to tell someone what's on your mind, what you're looking to do. It's not something you just put out there because it's a secret that you have to put together. It's a plan of killing Paul Castellano. So he knew Frankie Decicco was 100%. He could trust Frankie Decicco with his life. And that's what he did. When he approached Frankie Decicco and told Frankie Decicco about killing Paul Castellano, I'm sure at the time, John said to Frankie, you know what? We'll kill him. You could be the boss. I could be the boss, whatever you want to do. And Frankie probably said, John, you know what? You be the boss. I'll be your underboss. And I'm sure the conversation went something like that. But John Gotti and Frankie Decicco did a lot of time together. They did some time, a small bid in Lewisburg Penitentiary. This is when John Gotti went away for the James McCartney hit in Staten Island, when that guy James McCartney ended up killing Carlo Gambino's son, kidnapped him, something like that. And they end up killing McCartney with Jimmy Froggy's father. So John Gotti approaches Frankie Decicco, and of course this is a big thing. You know what? Wow. Frankie Decicco never thought about, taking out Paul Castellano. But John Gotti gave him an idea. John Gotti told Frankie Decicco, look at this guy. This guy's making millions and millions of dollars. He's a legitimate guy. We're in the street. This is our family. This should be our family. And John Gotti is a good speaker, very well liked. A lot of guys liked him. They know he was a stand-up guy. And he talked Frank Decicco right into it. And Frank Decicco walked away. He said, John, you know what? I'll get back to you. Let me talk to a few guys. Let me start congregating against Paul Castellano. And he got all these other guys that he was close with. Now, Frankie Decicco's father was a wise guy. His grandfather was a wise guy. So he had a lot of power connections. If you look at all the photos with Paul Castellano, Frankie Decicco is in about maybe 3 or 4 of those photos with him. And the Brooklyn guys had a lot of power. Frankie Decicco had tons of power. Joe Butch in Manhattan had a lot of power. Sammy was a powerful guy. He was a captain. John Gotti was a powerful guy. But you had all these guys, Jimmy Brown, Danny Marino. All these Brooklyn guys had a lot of power. And Frankie Decicco had their ear, and he was very good with them. They trusted Frankie Decicco 100%. Everyone trusted Frankie Decicco. Everyone loved Frankie Decicco. Frankie Decicco was a man's man. If you had him by your side, you had nothing to worry about. So they come up with this plan to kill Paul Castellano. We know what took place. Sammy tells the story. And they get rid of Paul and Tommy Bellotti together. Now, Tommy Bellotti, another tough guy. So after they killed Paul Castellano, they really thought that, you know what, okay, they got the family now. Everything's going to go good, and the family belongs to us. We'll make this guy a captain. Frankie Decicco's the underboss. John Gotti's the boss. They make Sammy the counselor, and they're going to make other guys now. They're going to make guys captains. They're going to strain out some other guys, and they got the family. Now, they didn't know what was going to come next as far as retaliating against the Gambino family with the chin, gas pipe. I mean, they really gave it to them. I mean, blowing up Frank Decicco right on 86th Street with Frankie Had in the car, a Lucchese wise guy. I mean, that takes some brass balls. Think about it. And when that bomb blew up, I'll tell you, it opened up a lot of guys' eyes and ears. And they said, what the fuck is going on? I mean, killing Frankie Decicco was a serious thing, you know, and John Gotti knew something was up. Some of his guys started getting killed. Bobby Bartholomew, Eddie Lino, and all these guys are going, they're getting killed. And they're wondering what the fuck's going on. Now, at this time, Gas Pipe is playing everybody. He's in and out of it. He's going to report to the Chin. He's giving the Chin information. Now, the Chin and Gas Pipe are together. They're killing off all the Gambino guys. And out of all the people, like Frankie Decicco had to be the one to get blown up. Frankie Decicco was the best guy, you know, but, you know, that's the guy Paul Castellano trusted. It just goes to show you. We'll name these three names right here, this way you know. Paul Castellano, Roy DeMeo, and Frankie Decicco. Paul Castellano wants to kill Roy DeMeo. Paul Castellano calls for Frankie Decicco to get rid of Roy. Frankie Decicco takes care of the job. Now, all these guys, Gas Pipe, Frankie Decicco, John Gotti, all these wise guys in the street that become wise guys, they all ran to each other in the street. Some of them made money together. Some of them didn't like each other when they were kids growing up. And then you become a man, you become a made guy in the family, and you still have a bit of taste in your mouth against certain guys that you don't like. You know, the Chin didn't like a lot of guys, but he also trusted some guys. But it's amazing how Paul Castellano gives the hit to Frankie Decicco for Roy DeMeo. And then later on, Frankie Decicco sets up Paul Castellano to get murdered. And then Frankie Decicco gets blown up. But it just goes to show you all the treachery in this life. It's fucking crazy. You know, who want to be a part of that life? You can't trust nobody. You can't trust your own friend. I could name 100 murders on the street, but all these guys were friends at some time. But you know what? By them killing the next person that they killed, it elevated them. And it made the boss happy, or whoever they were reporting to at the time. So you're doing it for the guy that's a little bigger than you. So it's just amazing how the mob works. It's a treacherous life. You can't trust nobody.